Welcome to the Watchtower podcast.
Welcome to the deep dive. You gave us the description of a pretty sensational new broadcast, the Watchtower Detectives Group podcast.
It really is.
And our job today is basically to act as your chief intelligence officer. We're going to tear apart that source material, find all the key nuggets of knowledge, the core expertise, and the very specific range of topics promised by its star, John Frysek.
Yeah, and this is a fascinating set of documents because the mission statement that's sort of embedded in this description is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, it's immense.
Right.
It suggests they're trying to bridge two completely distinct worlds.
Yeah.
You've got the intense high-stakes domain of Fortune 500 corporate security on one hand, and then the extremely personal, practical safety knowledge that, you need every single day. The promise is to equip you with truth and validity, basically.
Okay, let's unpack this. Before we even get into the actionable advice, we have to understand the credentials of the person delivering it, right?
Yeah.
John Frysek, because the complexity of the subjects he's talking about, it demands a really deep foundation of credibility. So what are the bona fides here? What makes him qualified to talk about everything from corporate espionage to road rage?
Well, the foundation is absolutely rock solid. I mean, it's built over decades. He's established as a 36-year licensed private investigator and a former police officer.
Okay, so that's the base level.
That's the base. But what takes him beyond, your local PI agency are the advanced specific certifications he holds. He's a certified personal protection specialist and a certified international investigator.
That distinction is key. A personal protection specialist, a PPS that isn't just a tough guy. That certification means specialized training in, high-threat environments.
Threat assessment, security planning.
Exactly, and close quarters protection tactics, stuff like that.
And these aren't certifications you just pick up on a long weekend. The international investigator part, especially when you couple it with the PPS, it points to a career that involves global operations, complex investigations that cross borders.
Which is critical because it explains his client list.
It absolutely does.
And that client list is significant. The description makes it very clear he is not doing small claims work. He's operating at the absolute peak of the risk management pyramid.
That's right. We see him working for Fortune 100 and 500 clientele.
The biggest corporations in America.
The biggest. Alongside high net worth individuals. This is bodyguard investigation. The stakes are incredibly high. We're talking corporate secrets, complex fraud, and, protecting life and limb.
So when you look at that career length plus that elite clientele, you realize his methods have to be the gold standard.
They have to be.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though, and frankly, a little contradictory at first glance. We have this dual identity laid out in the source material.
Okay.
On one hand, he's described as the ultimate technical expert, a countermeasure specialist.
The tech guy, yeah. He handles TSCM, technical surveillance countermeasures.
The art and science of finding bugs, wiretaps, hidden cameras, all that stuff. But then, on the other hand, the notes describe him as an empath. Having this, and I'm quoting here, uncanny ability to read people for who and what they are. Wait, how do those two skill sets even coexist in the high-stakes world of corporate security? That's the technical sweep versus pure gut instinct.
And what's fascinating here is that the sources don't present them as competing skills.
No.
Not at all. They're complementary tools that give him a massive advantage. If you're a Fortune 500 CEO, you need Frysek to sweep your boardroom for listening devices, sure. But you also need him to vet that new hire or the potential merger partner.
Ah, I see.
The technical sweep keeps the corporate secret safe, but that empathic read that screens out the human threat, the insider, the liar, the person with bad intent.
So his unique value isn't just finding the bug, it's being able to instantly assess if the person sitting across from you is trustworthy.
That's it.
That combination of high-tech and, I guess, high-touch investigative rigor is what justifies the price tag of his work.
Precisely. And it's what gives him the perspective to then turn around and translate all that high-level security stuff into advice that helps you, the listener, in your everyday life.
And that's a perfect transition into our next section, security and safety. With that kind of background, the real question is, how does he make complex corporate protection relevant to, actionable safety tips for us?
He focuses immediately on proactive defense. He goes right to the spaces we all assume are private, but are, increasingly vulnerable.
Right.
Since he's a countermeasure specialist, the deep dive promises to explore how to stay safe in places like Airbnbs, hotels, other rental spaces.
Oh, yeah, the horror stories about hidden cameras and vacation rentals are like everywhere now,
Yeah.
but most people have no idea what to actually do about it.
Exactly. So he's teaching you the TSCM basics. How do you sweep a room for eavesdropping devices, for video cameras that spy on your personal privacy? This is crucial because, digital threats have moved out of the spy movie and into the rental you booked for the weekend.
It's about making that professional level due diligence accessible.
That's the idea.
So that covers the technological side of it, but the show also moves into pure physical safety. Street-level, high-stress confrontations.
The description specifically highlights practical advice for handling real-world dangerous situations. They mention road rage.
Which is, unfortunately, an everyday risk.
A huge risk. And just general confrontational situations on the street. It's about navigating unpredictability. He wants you to know the truth and validity about de-escalation and self-defense in those split-second moments.
And tied to that self-defense element, the show promises a discussion on the proofs about firearms and non-lethal defensive items. We should probably clarify that term proofs.
Yeah.
It's not about legal rights necessarily. It's more about practical efficacy, right?
I believe so, yeah. In this context, proofs most likely refers to established effectiveness, the necessary training, and just the practical realities of owning or carrying a defensive option.
So cutting through the emotion.
Right. It's about offering unbiased, investigated information on what works and what doesn't, so you can make an educated choice if, the worst happens. It's an investigator's view of self-defense.
And that focus on personal safety, it also extends to family. The last critical piece of safety intelligence he promises is highly relevant for parents. Practical advice for keeping children safe on campus and in college.
That's a really powerful inclusion. It extends that circle of protection beyond just you, the adult learner, to the most vulnerable members of your family. It shows how his investigative mindset can be applied to vetting environments, teaching awareness, and navigating campus security risks.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Section 3, the investigative toolkit. The promise here seems to be that this show isn't just for passive listening, it's an empowerment tool. Freistak doesn't just want to tell you the answers, he wants to help you do your own due diligence. So how does he plan to enable the average person to become their own investigator?
By demystifying what investigators actually do. The show promises to detail specific techniques, and they mention free internet techniques and websites you can use to check anyone or anything out.
So basic OSINT. Open source intelligence.
Exactly. It's about turning complex OSINT into basic, actionable steps for daily life.
That application becomes intensely personal when you talk about relationships. Being able to background people, especially in dating, has become, well, a regrettable necessity in the digital age.
It's a sad reality, isn't it? That this kind of due diligence is a critical step before date one, just given the anonymity of dating apps. His expertise in vetting high net worth individuals is being translated directly into vital personal safety skills. He's teaching you to look under the surface.
And speaking of looking under the surface, this connects right back to that rare combination of skills we talked about earlier.
The empath.
The empath, because he also promises to teach a highly valuable piece of communication insight, specific skills on how to tell if someone is lying to you.
And this is where it all synthesizes. That innate, uncanny ability he uses for his Fortune 500 clients is being codified into practical tips for lie detection. It's moving beyond just catching a horrible lie. It's about reading body language, identifying tells, seeing the total picture of who someone is.
That insight alone is probably worth the price of admission for a lot of people.
Oh, absolutely. It instantly raises your social and professional awareness.
Okay, so we've covered the technical prowess, the high-stakes security, the street-level safety, and the personal due diligence. That's a serious investigative mandate.
It's a lot.
But now we hit the real wild card. Section 4. The anomalies. We are pivoting from bodyguard investigations to extraterrestrial.
And that rapid pivot, I think, is a deliberate choice of the podcast. It makes sure the show doesn't become this dry, fact-based lecture.
Is it interesting?
Totally. While his credibility is built on 36 years of concrete investigative work, the description promises he'll apply that same rigor to strange anomalies.
The specific examples are UAPs, UFOs, extraterrestrials, and even ghost hunting. It's like a private investigator's toolkit for the paranormal.
Exactly. And the crucial nuance here is that the goal isn't to convert skeptics. The show will explore these issues to determine if they are, quote, proven false or proven possibly plausible.
And then they leave it to you.
They provide the evidence, the transcripts, the records, the testimony, and then, importantly, the description says you will decide.
That commitment to impartiality, that's the common thread, isn't it? It connects the corporate security work to the ghost hunting. He applies the same rigorous standards of evidence to both.
And that mandate defines the whole tone of the show. It's described as brash, forward, and compelling, delivering real hard-hitting information. The overall directive to you is to take off the blinders of your eyes and your brain.
It's an active demand for critical thinking.
It really is.
And this nonpartisan approach extends to their political
Welcome
discussions,
to the
which is
Watchtower
interesting.
podcast.
In a landscape where it feels impossible to discuss divisive topics without taking a side, this show promises a very clear position.
A very clear one. They promise to host high-volume, opinionated guests, but the show will not take favorites politically. Instead, they promise to be shooting at the hip from all angles of life.
The focus is on understanding choices and theories, not endorsing them.
Right. They're going to explore the full spectrum of opinion without endorsement, sticking strictly to that mandate of plausible or false.
And what softens the edges of all this intense security and investigative stuff is the humor. They wrap the entire package in what they call constructive humor.
Which is smart.
They mention concierge conspiracies and other stories that are either fact or fiction or bogus or just plain silly funny.
And that combination is so smart. The humor is the necessary counterweight. You can spend 40 minutes on the grave seriousness of corporate fraud or road rage, and then use that silly funny element to break the tension. It makes the whole learning experience more palatable, more memorable.
So it's engaging and not exhausting.
Exactly.
So if we step back and summarize the scope of what you shared, what we really have is a comprehensive resource. It blends the highest levels of corporate risk management, FRISEX, Fortune 500 expertise with immediate, intensely personal safety and investigative know-how.
Everything from how to catch a liar to how to sweep your hotel room for bugs.
It's investigative work applied to every single area of your life where security, truth, and validity matter.
Yeah, it feels like the listener's being given a massive shortcut to becoming well-informed about threats, both the ones you can see and the ones you can't.
And the final guidance given in the source material is powerful. It encourages you to approach all of this with an open mind, curiosity, and an open heart for adventure, because you will be crossing a lot of knowledge boundaries here.
Indeed. And it brings us right back to John Frisek's unique blend of abilities. The sources reveal he is both a licensed countermeasure specialist, the expert in finding the invisible tech, and an empath, the expert in reading human intent. Which leaves you, the listener, with a really compelling question to think about as you start this deep dive. In an era of increasing digital security threats and technological intrusion, which is ultimately the more powerful tool for your own personal protection, is it the technical sweep for hidden cameras? Or is it that uncanny, intuitive ability to simply read people for who and what they are? That balance between cold technology and warm intuition, that might be the most valuable knowledge you gain from all this.
Hey guys, thanks for checking us out. Be on the watch for the Watchtower Detectives Group. See you soon.